Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we'll make some pretzels. Bacon and beer pretzels, that is. I mean, look at these beauties, they're perfect. And I'll also show you how to make this quick and easy cheese sauce. And this is such an easy dough to work with. You should definitely give it a try. Right, so I'm gonna enjoy my pretzels, and you just keep watching the video to learn all about them. And as always, you'll find a full detailed recipe with metric and imperial units down in the description box. I have also added links to the equipment I use. And speaking of equipment, this is what we need today. A tray with some non-stick paper, a bowl, scales, dough scraper, temperature probe, a brush, and a pan for boiling the pretzels and cooking the sauce, and something to fish your pretzels out of the water with. Now on to the ingredients. You'll need some strong white bread flour, water, wholemeal flour, yeast, salt, some soft butter, some beer, but if you don't want beer, just use water instead. Then we'll need an egg yolk for glazing, some pancetta or bacon, and some sea salt for topping. For the sauce, we'll need some grated cheese, some beer, butter, mustard, bit of cayenne pepper, and we'll need some honey for boiling the pretzels with. Now let's get right to it. I'm using cold water because we're kneading this dough by hand. The dough is going to warm up. To learn more about dough temperature control, click the link in top right corner. Alright, so what you want to do, get your bowl, add the water, the beer, yeast, salt, also add the butter and the wholemeal flour. And now mix everything well. You want to dissolve any large salt crystals and hydrate the yeast real quick. And once you're happy with that, add the flour. And that's the last ingredient for the dough. Now grab your scraper and mix this. You want to mix it in the bowl until it's one cohesive piece, and if the scraper is not doing the job, continue on by hand. This is a relatively dry dough, so it might be a bit tough at the beginning. But once you knead it, it will get softer. So what I like to do is press down and forwards with the heel of my right hand, and using the fingers of my left hand, I fold the piece of dough under the heel of my right hand. Then turn and repeat. Once you've done this a few times, the motion will become fluent. It will be like second nature. And this will not take long at all, 5 minutes at most. And as you can see, the dough is nice and smooth, ready to start fermenting it. Now pop it in your bowl and take the temperature. Around 25 degrees Celsius what we're after. Now cover it up and let it ferment for 1 hour. If your dough is cooler, it will take longer. If it's warmer, it will take less time. Keep an eye on it. But after the first proof, we need to give it a fold. Folding will help us with degassing the dough, creating extra layers in the dough structure and equalizing the temperature. So this is how you give it a fold. Just flatten it out, fold the two edges over in the middle, then fold down the top third, turn it around, and fold over the bottom third. Easy as that. Now we have a little parcel, it can go back in a bowl, cover it up, and leave it to ferment for 1 more hour. And yes, this is a slow riser, and that's exactly what we want. If your dough is rising rapidly, you need to cut that fermentation time down. After the second proof, we need to divide it into 6 equal pieces. You always use your scales, otherwise you'll get wonky pretzels. And because after dividing, every single dough piece is made up of little pieces, we need to do a pre-shaping step. We want everything to be nice and uniform. So this is how you do it. You flatten the dough out, then cross the two sides over in the middle, and now roll it up starting from the top down to the bottom. It's as if you're making a tiny little loaf of bread. And you should end up with this kind of cylinder shape. And don't worry if it's not perfect, you got 5 more to practice on. Now once you've done that, you can cover them up and let them rest. The resting will relax the gluten, it will make it easier for us to shape the pretzels. Again, this dough is a slow riser, so I'll give it 30 minutes. If your dough is puffing up rapidly, you need to cut this time down, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But 30 was just right for me. Now we can shape the pretzels. So this is what you want to do. Using the whole surface of your palms and your fingers, roll the dough piece out gradually, from the middle down to the ends. You want to apply even pressure and don't press too hard. You see me slapping the dough? That is because I felt an air bubble inside, and if you feel an air bubble in your dough, just slap it out. And then just keep rolling, and you want to taper the ends. At the end, this dough should be around 2 feet long, which is about 60 centimeters. So make sure you have enough space on your table. So once you got it down to the length that you want, taper the ends. And now we can twist this dough into a pretzel. Lay it down in an arch so the two ends are facing you, then take the ends and twist them around each other twice. Then just fold it over and attach the 2 loose ends to the arch of the pretzel. Make sure you press the ends into the dough, just so they stick really well. And that is how you shape a pretzel, the easy way. And as always, like I say, if you messed up that first one, you got 5 more to practice on. So have at it. And because this dough is not sticky at all, these are very easy to work with. If you've never made a pretzel before, you could make these easily. Now you want to place them on a tray lined with some non-stick paper. Make sure there's gaps between them. We'll cover them up and we'll leave them to ferment for 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, we're going to pop them in the fridge for 1 hour to cool down. And if your dough was fermenting quite rapidly beforehand, then you should pop them in the fridge straight after shaping. That'll slow it down. In any case, whilst they're chilling out, preheat your oven. 200 degrees Celsius with a fan on. Also make sure to put your water on to boil. Now get these pretzels out. They should have firmed up quite a lot, and now we can boil them. So let's head over to the hob top where I have my water boiling already. Add the honey to your boiling water. You could also use malt syrup, black treacle even, anything sweet and syrupy. Now bring it up to the boil again and pop your pretzels in the water. You want to boil them for no more than 20 seconds per side. And of course, if you have bigger pots, just do a few at a time, don't do one by one. Now pop it out to drain and continue on with the rest. And if you don't have a rack like I do for draining, choose a colander or something. And at this point I realized my spatula would work a lot better for fishing these out of water. But this is pretty simple, right? They're quite easy to handle. Now once you've boiled all your pretzels, we can do the last bits before they go in the oven. They've grown a bit bigger now, so I can't fit them all on one tray anymore. So I'm going to do 4 on one tray and 2 on the other, because you want gaps between them. Now grab the egg yolk and mix it with 1 teaspoon of water. This will be a nice glaze and also help the bacon stick to the pretzels. Now brush them gently all over. And now grab your bacon and dot it around all over the pretzels. And if you don't want bacon, you don't have to put bacon. You can leave these plain, or you can add different toppings. But whatever you add, you want to dimple it in with your fingers. Just make sure it sticks. And because I want them quite salty, I'm going to add some sea salt on top as well. But if you are using really salty bacon, I wouldn't suggest this. Now these 2 pretzels I'm going to pop in the fridge so they don't overproof while I bake the first batch. Now grab the other tray, pop it in the oven. They should not take more than 14 to 15 minutes. But look at them rise, they look perfect. Now if the bacon has popped out of the dough a little bit, just press it back in. But look at them, I mean, don't they look perfect? Now we want to let these cool down, and while they're cooling down, we can prepare the cheese sauce. But of course you could stop here. You don't need sauce with these pretzels, they're great on their own. But this is how you make the sauce. It's the simplest thing in the world. On a medium heat, heat up your beer, the butter, the mustard, and a little pinch of cayenne pepper. All you want to do is bring this up to a simmer, and then add your grated cheese. And if you want your sauce to be more stretchy, replace half of the cheddar with mozzarella. And keep whisking it, and as soon as it melts, it's ready. As simple as that. And that's how you make bacon pretzels with a cheese sauce. And as always, if you have any questions or suggestions, drop them down in comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.